Hey guys, live today. It's been a while. Let's see who joins this chat. Mhm. So, it's been a while since I've come on here. I've been super busy, really had a lot to do, but there's so much going on. I had to defrost. I just came back to Lagos from New York and I really had to defrost my whole body because I was just in a mess. My skin was scaly, feet scaly. I had to just go and get everything taken care of over the last couple of days. But I wanted to jump on here because it's been a minute since I've gone live. And you know what? There's so much going on, right? It's just so much going on. I'm going to tell you, New York is in a bad way. I was there for maybe 2 weeks. And I tell you, that New York is in a bad way. You know, the thing about it is that some people want it to be safe and other people want to be able to commit crime freely. So now when you're dealing with something like that, we really can't do anything about that, can we? I mean, the most that we can do is sit back and let the authorities handle everyone because there's honestly nothing that we can do as citizens while they try to get this place in order. I mean, New York is at the point now where nobody even wants to get on a train. There's people getting pushed on a train every day. I think I rode the train one time when I was there. I had to go to the city to pick up something, and when I went really quickly during rush hour when there were the most people there, because I believe in the eyes of the public. You know, I believe that if there's more people out, less shit will happen. I went, grabbed my things, and then came back to where I had to come back to. And I'll be honest with you, the train is not. It is not. Right now, is I was on it. I felt safe. It was okay, but there are a lot of mentally ill people just riding the train. I mean, there are people yelling at themselves, talking to themselves. There's people, you know, and then on top of that, we have the homeless people that are looking for money. So every other, you know, like once one leaves the car, the next comes in. It's crazy. If you're on the train long enough, you'll see at least three or four people. And I'm not putting anyone down. I just think that it's such a unfortunate situation that our city is in. And for women like me, it's just not safe. I mean, they just gunned down a girl. They just gunned down a girl that was walking her dog. I don't know who she knew. I don't know who she pissed off. I don't know if she did anything rather than just exist. I don't know. Maybe someone got upset. I mean, the guy killed her and her dog. This is in Harlem. And Harlem's gentrified. Harlem's like Bed-Stuy. It's gentrified. So we really not supposed to even be seeing shit like that. Shit like that is not even supposed to be happening. But if you could just imagine the sheer shit that's going on in that city. I mean, I'm glad to be back in Lagos. Believe it or not, it's safer here. Um, there's too much going on out there. You can't trust anybody either because people change. You know, my driver here, he made a good point. Same thing he said to me. Same thing in Lagos. You can't trust anyone. People will be nice at first, but then people change. You know, at first they're nice to you, but then they start feeling like entitled. Same thing here happens here, and that's why you have to spread the love and don't get too close to people who are not really part of your inner circle. I don't really get too close to that many people here in Lagos, meaning you're close if you've been to my place, and that's like I can count those people on my hand. But I'm not the kind of person to just be inviting people to the house. You know, I know that's common here. People hang out in their place. I just don't play that. I don't invite anyone around here. I even had a weird carpenter before I left. He was just very weird. And he even showed up one day and just knocked on my door. And I said, you know, you're supposed to give me like a 15-minute warning that that you'll be here. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something. You can't, like, I know we agreed upon a time, but just don't come knocking on the door. So like, and then he was early. It was just weird. It was just a weird thing. And then he ended up being a scammer. I had to bring in a friend of mine who's an inspector, and he had to retrieve my money. And what I'm saying is that people here and everywhere, they know how to get over it. But the thing is, in New York, people are violent about it. Okay, so here, yeah, you'll have someone try to cheat you out of your money, and they might say a couple threatening things, and you might have to have someone put them in check. Like an inspector or someone who of high stature can just put them in check. But aside from that, you're not going to have someone threatening to gun you down or even coming to gun you down. And this is Lagos, so there's not really any kidnapping down here. Uh, so to be honest with you, I don't see it. I don't see the value. I mean, I see Eric Adams working his ass off, and to be honest with you, he just got in office, and to think he has to work so hard. Like, he's working so hard. Come on. Eric Adams has not had a break since he took office. I'm glad he was able to go to Ghana before he started this job, because there's going to be no time for him to go to Africa and hang out while he's managing this New York City shit. And New York City really is supposed to be a much better place. As much money comes into that place and as much tax revenue is generated in that place, it's really supposed to be a much safer and but I think it's because of this defund the police. I mean, defund the police. I don't know. Let's see. You know what? Now I'm gonna play this video for you guys because like, hold on, just really quickly before we go any further. Let's play this video that I watched for you guys.
Crime is on the rise in New York City, and only 1 month in, 2022 has started with heartbreaking violence. Compared to the same time last year, major crimes rose 38% so far this year. And despite surveillance cameras everywhere, as well as increased police presence promised by the mayor, New Yorkers are questioning whether their safety is at risk. Jennifer Enoa was walking her dog Blue just a block from her apartment in Bed-Stuy when they were both shot and killed by a gunman who still hasn't been arrested. Jennifer was a mother of 4, and according to the NYPD, she was among one of 26 New Yorkers murdered through January 30th, compared to 32 recorded last year. One of Mayor Eric Adams' biggest concerns for the city since before he took office has been public safety. He recently announced plans to combat gun violence after 5 NYPD officers were shot in January. 2 of them died.
Gun violence is a public health crisis. There's no time to wait. We must act. We will start by putting more officers on patrol in key neighborhoods throughout the city.
And just a day after the mayor laid out his anti-violence blueprint, a gunman opened fire inside the waiting room at Jacobi Hospital.
Okay, guys, Jacobi Hospital is actually a nice hospital. It's in a decent area in the Bronx, and it's a nice hospital, really huge facility. It's been around forever. I mean, that's like going into Lenox Hill or something like that and opening fire. What is going on here? I never seen nothing like this. I've never seen people in my whole life living in New York. I never heard of people shooting up the emergency room. Usually that's where people go after they get shot. Shit makes no sense.
And what police said was a targeted attack. While murders are down, robberies are up 33% compared to 2021. 19-year-old Crystal Byron Nieves was working as a Burger King cashier in Harlem when a gunman robbed her before he shot and killed her.
Okay, that was a tragedy. The young girl that got killed at the Burger King was just so unfortunate because she was actually supposed to be, that was her last late night shift on Sundays, and she was supposed to be changing her schedule completely so she could work during the day. She didn't feel safe. And then she was right because, her boss was just getting ready to change her schedule, and here we go. Someone just opened fire on her, and she was right to want to change her schedule, but it didn't happen quick enough.
The suspect has since been arrested.
Look at him.
Exclusive
are you
videos
surprised?
obtained by NBC New York show.
I'm sorry, but are you surprised to see that it's a young black man? What's up, man? How you doing? Are you surprised to see that it's a young black man who shot her? Because I'm not.
Another robbery, this time in the Bronx. 2 men flashed their guns at a barbershop and robbed them before robbing 2 other people nearby. NYPD
I mean, they're robbing each other, but they don't even have anything to rob. Like, what are they robbing? I want to know what exactly did that man take up out that other man's pocket and how much was it worth? Like, these little petty robberies are so ridiculous. Y'all don't be getting no money. I don't understand what it is. It just, the whole thing to me just seems like New York is in a place where criminals can just roam free. And the people that live there, either they could afford to leave or they just say to hell with it, let me get in my car and avoid the subway. Like, these people are just acting a fool in all the craziest places. You can't even go to the emergency room now. Is that for real?
Statistics also revealed that felony assaults increased this year by 12%. This shocking surveillance video shows 2 men follow a 28-year-old woman down a Bronx street before they punched her, kicked her, and stabbed her 13 times.
Come on.
Police said the woman didn't even know
Like the
her
video.
attackers. Some assaults have
You
been
see them
motivated by
stabbing?
hate.
That's a woman there.
This
stabbing.
Brooklyn woman was arrested after she allegedly spewed anti-Semitic slurs and
Okay, honestly, that's a woman. That was a woman that they were stabbing, not an op, not a homeboy, not any of that. A woman. A woman. Like, I don't even want to go back. I don't even want to see that again. But do you see how they were just stabbing her like she was one of the homeboys? Like she was one of the niggas from the other block? Like, I don't understand what this is. I want to understand it. I really do.
and spit on an 8-year-old boy outside a synagogue.
This girl is crazy.
Cops say hate crimes are up 70%
wrong
so
with
far
her?
this year. However,
Spitting on someone is one of the most disrespectful things, and it is a thing to do when you feel like being disrespectful. It is not something to do. It's not a reaction to any kind of circumstance. You have to really choose to want to spit on somebody, regardless.
the biggest rise across all major crimes is not any of the categories I've already mentioned. It's car theft. One of those incidents took place in broad daylight in the middle of Midtown. Carjacker rammed into several parked cars and drove the wrong way up Broadway after he threatened a driver with a stun gun. For more on these stories, head to NBCNewYork.com. I'm Linda Gaudino.
Okay, guys. So, like I said, nothing but crime in New York. New York crime is through the fucking roof. And these are just the big stories. I mean, there's little stories happening in every borough every day. And it's like, when I say little stories, I mean like stories that just don't, I don't know how they decide what goes on the general news. But what I will say is this I'm safe, man. I don't know what to say. I think Black people, if you can get yourself to Africa, get yourself to Africa. If you can put yourself on a flight and go find a place to live, go find a place to live and bring yourself, bring your best energy and just come. Honestly, because what do you have out there? There's nothing for you out there. Oh, I'm not talking about the media. I mean, we're not talking about media. We're not talking about Black women versus Black men. I'm talking about just right there. He was Black. That's a fact. We were looking at him. He was Black. Sorry. Until the videos of the killings and all of the robberies and stuff start showing other people, then maybe we can talk. But for right now, I mean, they're all black. The guy that pushed the Asian lady onto the train was a black man. Are we going to refute the fact that these people are black and we're looking at a video? I mean, let's just keep it 100 and a buck. I mean, like, I don't give a fuck that he was on drugs. That was his choice to be on drugs. So what's next? I have plenty of people that have been on drugs in my family, and those are choices you make to be on drugs. So, I'm not really judging anybody. Um, this place, you hear every little sound here. So quiet that you hear everything. And if you hear the water coming from the AC through the pipe, it just. So if a man is on drugs, then he gets an excuse to run rampant through the community. I just want to know. For me, I'm not a person to make excuses. I'm a person to make moves. So if you know that you want to be out of America and you know that you want to start traveling the world, then find a place to go. It doesn't have to be Africa, but I would go now. You can always come back and visit and touch base for a couple weeks and handle your business or whatever you need to handle for a couple weeks and come back. You don't have to be stuck. I mean, we do have the most powerful passport in the world. So one of the so if you have this passport or a UK passport, what is the excuse for sitting down? I mean, unless you have family and you don't have the resources to bring them, that's a different conversation. But I beg that you will be able to put some resources together if you would like to be able to um, buy a house for your family out here quicker than you could do it out there, unless you're going to buy a fixer upper and really do everything from scratch. And there's only a few markets where you can do that. So I want to know what keeps Black American people from seeking an opportunity to live abroad. I mean, what is wrong with living abroad? You don't have to choose Nigeria. You don't have to choose Ghana. You don't have to choose West Africa. But choose something else. You've got a passport, use it. That's my thing. That's my thing. I see so many people complain. Like, I have a friend who complains about it, and it's like, but him getting his passport is not really paramount. It's not really of importance. It's something that's on the side, and then it's like, oh well, you're going, and everyone's going, and I'm going. Well, okay, if you don't want to be in your city, there are plenty of places to go, even in the country. Just pick up and go somewhere. If you're in one of these 13 democratic cities that are on fire right now, America's got so many other places for you to live if you want to stay in the continent. If you want to go abroad, then know that Africa is an option, especially for you as an African American, part of the diaspora. As the diaspora, we have a lot of power. We have the ability to come here, set up businesses, and employ people. We have the ability to build connections here and create pipelines for people. We have the ability to really market ourselves and our skill sets and help develop an area. We have the ability to help people flesh out their business ideas. And we also have the ability to bring our best selves and just work for someone if that's the case. And I think that there's more opportunity than a lot of the people in the diaspora know. There's a lot going on here. There's more going on here than anyone can actually tell you or any video can show you. You have to just come and sit your ass down and learn a little something. It's not hard. I mean, it's like another. Just think about it as any other place. You just pick up, you go, you enjoy it. This time, you just stay a little longer and you get a little deeper into the culture. It's not so hard, guys, to just pick up and you can do what you have to do. And not everybody wants you to live in the bush. I mean, I'm not trying to have look. I'm not the person to suggest that anybody go live in a bush. I'm the last. That shit. And let me tell you, um, every time I went anywhere that was in the bush, I had the worst stomach aches, the worst. Guys, if you're going to live somewhere, then go somewhere that is up to your standard of living, the best standard of living that you can find when you're dealing with West Africa. Don't just plop down in Gambia thinking you did something, knowing ain't nothing going down over there. Don't just plop down in countries that you know there have been difficulties and for the diaspora living abroad. That's just not going to help you. That's just not going to make it comfortable for you. What it's going to do is it's going to give you a bad impression of Africa, and you're going to be on YouTube talking shit because it's not what you want. Pick a place that has uh, decent power. I mean, everything doesn't have to be 24 hours, but there's something called an inverter. I'll be having my inverter in a couple weeks. But if you don't have one, stick to the power schedule. There's plenty of things you can do when the power's out. Go somewhere else. It's fine. Power in my apartment building, power's only out for a couple hours a day, and I could just pick up and go during those hours. Okay? Get out. The whole point is not to come and sit in your apartment all day anyway. So while the power's down, okay, got a question. What's your thoughts on the Orishas? Because we can just ask them to heal our nation. I think if you want to speak to the Orishas, the best place to speak to them is from Africa. That's my opinion. My opinion is if you want to connect with the Orishas, because I do have a shrine in my house in Brooklyn. But if you really want to pray, doing it here is the best. Doing it right here, where he's from, where she's from. hmm I mean, literally, there are states named after the Orishas here in Nigeria. This is probably the best place to pray to the Orishas, don't you think? In my opinion. And how are we meant to gain citizenship in these countries? Is that what you're asking? How are we meant to gain citizenship? Well, stick man, you can believe whatever you believe. And I believe that you're probably right. But I also believe that when you come to Africa, don't be surprised when you get hit with Christianity and when you get hit with Islam. Even though voodoo and what we consider to be Shango, Candomblé, all those, which are just the same thing, um, that's going to be best practice from the motherland. I mean, specifically in the states that are named after these orishas, I think. And to be honest with you, I don't really know that much in terms of how to go about it. I know that you can come and find out for yourself, but if you want your questions answered, come here. There's no questions that I can't, everyone, okay, what I've learned about this repatriation thing is that everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different set of, everyone has a different set of instructions by which to obtain their citizenship. Now, if you're going to a place like a Sierra Leone, that you can go through any of the people that tour the country and they have the lines to citizenship. There's like 3 people who do it. Look it up on YouTube. If you want to come to a place like Nigeria, you need to come here, put your feet on the ground, and start making your connections, because everything that I got was by way of making connections with people. Everything. So my residency card, everything I got was by making connections, and the best thing to do is you got to fall on your ass a little bit. Sorry. I mean, you can hit me. You can send me an email. I think my email is somewhere around this. Or you can hit me in the DM if you can manage to find me somewhere. Sure, why not? But this here thing is different. That for me, it's different than it is for other people. I know that there are quite a few YouTubers who are, and I don't even consider myself a YouTuber. I consider myself just, good old a black beauty. And I just come and talk shit. And when I come, I just come to share my thoughts and to hear some of y'all. But there are plenty of YouTubers who have repatriated this space, repatriated within the space, and they have so many different. I mean, honestly, who I really enjoy for real, when I need information, about the continent from a person I trust, I would go to Go Black to Africa's page, because Go Black is he breaks it down for real, you know? He'd have been everywhere. And so to be honest with you, go to his channel. He has so many details for you. When I have clear cut, see, in Nigeria it's a little bit different because it's going to be hard for you to get your citizenship if you're not one of the tribes, right? So when I did my DNA, I'm one of the tribes. And even that makes it difficult because of last name and things like that. But because I have the line to some people and I've been given some clear cut instructions, I will have my passport very soon, probably in the next 2 or 3 weeks, and you'll see it. So I'm not even a full citizen yet. I'm in the process of getting everything. But I do have my NIN. So as far as I'm concerned, NIN is Social Security. So we pretty much are unofficial citizens right now. And I will have my citizenship. I just have to go through a specific liaison's office for one of these states in the north, because I'm one of the northerners, I guess. My genes trace to the north. So I have to go through a liaison's office to the north and probably speak a little Hausa or speak a little Fulfulde. I'll learn a couple things. And I also have a line from another gentleman who's in Delta State, and he actually has somebody who might be able to do my passport for me. But I am going 2 different routes, and I'll see what the outcome is. So repatriation is not as easy in Nigeria because they don't have a program for the diaspora as yet. I think that it's something that will happen when we come up on the next president. They'll be leveraging the diaspora more because there's a lot of younger people that are going for this. I don't think Buhari really cares about the diaspora. He knows that there's an opportunity to make more money in this country because they have everything required to make money. They don't need the diaspora's money. Quite frankly, Nigeria doesn't really need the diaspora's money, but it would be beneficial. They have a lot of imports, exports, oil, and all kinds of shit going on here. So it's really not, I find that it's not that important to them. They don't see it as an added benefit because they're already doing what they need to do. Venture capitalism is at an all-time high. Imports and exports of rice is up. Imports and exports of cola nuts. Imports and exports of peanuts. Real estate is doing well. There's a lot going on here. Don't get it twisted. There's so much shit going on in the north. Like, for example, some schools have been closed in the north because of one young girl that was murdered by a teacher. So that's, things do still happen here, but shit, compared to what's going on in New York, the shit is wild. New York is a zoo. If you could be in New York, you could be in Lagos, trust. You could be anywhere in West Africa. You could sit your ass down anywhere in the Northeast. If you could sit in Atlanta, you could sit here. It's the difference. I like the look of Gambia, but I heard if you buy land, the government take it back after a couple of years. I don't know. I listen, if Gambia is anything like Sierra Leone, and Sierra Leone, I like it, but it needs a lot of improvement. If Gambia is anything like that, which I've heard it is, I'm not with it. Okay, see, what I'm not going to do is pick myself up out of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, a nice area, and put myself in the middle of poverty. That's what I'm not going to do. So if that's what you want to do, good luck to you, brother. Don't get robbed. How about that one? Don't get robbed. Don't get drugged. Don't get finessed. What? Seriously? You're crazy. Don't do it. I want to go to Jamaica where my parents are from, but it's too violent. So, okay, my dad, he's Jamaican. We're Nigerian. So here's what I will say. My nationality is U.S. Culturally, I am a Jamaican. And ethnically, I am a Fulani. But we are culturally rich Jamaicans, and my dad always knew we were Africans. So he was very, I think he just called me tonight, but I didn't feel like speaking to him because he's getting on my nerves. My dad is getting on my fucking nerves right now. Me and him don't have the tightest relationship, and he's my only parent left, and he don't know how to act. And I really need him to just get on board with what the fuck I say. Sorry. He owes me a lot in life. He really does, and I won't even get into it. But he owes me. And it's okay if he doesn't pay back, but just don't waste my time. You know, stop talking to me and giving me advice that you wouldn't take yourself. So my father is a person who is a real Jamaican, a Yachty. And he is, God, his accent has gotten less. Remember when I was a kid, it was very thick. It's gotten more chill now. He's older. He speaks slower. But he's a real, like, one thing about both my families, my American family and my dad's family, they're from the same tribe, number one. Number two, um, they they are the kind of people who knew they were African. Like, for example, we know I've had this in my family for a long time, and it's just there is no Native American. There is none of that shit is real. Where I'm from, none of it's real when it comes to my Jamaican family. None of it's real when it comes to my American family because we are not Native Americans. We are African. And you should say it with pride. When you say you're an African person, you should say it with pride because what does it say? You came first. You were the first in civilization. You were the first to establish anything, everything. So once you have that mentality, it is actually a high honor to call yourself an African. You know, put it up to the sky the way it's supposed to be. Stop putting it down where the Europeans tell you it belongs because they're lost. You know what I'm saying? So just that's my thing. I met a Fulani man and he couldn't stop staring at me and he asked me where I'm from and I told him I'm Jamaican, but he thought I was from his tribe and you likely are because a lot of us went to Jamaica. Majority of the Jamaican slaves were from Nigeria, not just Fulanis, but also a lot of Yoruba, I believe, as well. So there's a good amount of us over there. So it's likely we might be tribes, we might be family and tribe. I might be your sister in tribe, as they say. I might be your sister in tribe. It's so crazy because I all my friends are mixed up. Like, but that's how it is in Lagos. Nobody gives a damn about that shit down here. That tribalism shit is not really rocking down in Lagos. But when you get to other places, from what I hear, because I haven't been to these places, so Kaduna, Katsuna, Kano, um, Sokoto, where else? Yola. When you get to these places up in the north, that's when you're really dealing with tribalism. But some Jamaicans are Arawak descent as well, but they were black as well. They mixed with African slaves. No, honey, that's not true. No Jamaicans are Arawak. Jamaica was pretty much kind of like an empty land. There were people there, but not many. It was kind of like an empty land. And it was really pretty much empty when the Europeans got there. And they brought us. hmm Then they brought East Indians, like the ones that split off into Pakistanis and Bangladeshis, those ones. And then the Chinese man and them come in the early 1900s. So Jamaica is a place that is African and Asian. hmm It has nothing to do with Arawak. Jamaica was a pretty much empty place, and the majority of the islands were empty. There were a few people living out there, but really, you're gonna see more of that DNA in other countries, not Jamaica. You're gonna see more of that in I don't know, Barbados or something. But Jamaica was not a place where there were. I don't believe that there were many people living on that island like that. It was pretty much a jungle, and that's why you got to do your history, baby. You know that, like, I know my history very well, and even as a Jamaican, I think just double check that for me. I don't want to speak too confidently, but I'm pretty sure majority of us are African, and if you have any mixture, it's Indian, East Indian, and then nowadays there's some Chinese people. So at the end of the day, who cares? Doesn't matter. You know, people have to understand that if you got this black skin, then you're African. And it doesn't matter when the African people came. They could have came in 1600, 1700, 1800. They could have came yesterday, but you're African. Yeah, please do. Search and correct me. Listen, guys, I'm not going to stay in here for too long, but just remember that. Look, you're African. You black from your black? From your black? You know, from your black, you know you're African. We put it up to the sky. People want to be African so badly. Seriously. My whole life I felt that way. I felt like people have always wanted to be us. They look at us and they know that we're beautiful. They look at us and they know we have energy. They look at us and they know so much about us. And they don't want to admit that we influence them. Right? They don't want to admit that. They don't want to admit that we influence them, because ultimately that gives us more power than they want us to have. But if you come to a society over here in West Africa, guess what? You don't have to deal with them races. You come over here and everything is just person to person, business to business, and you get your feel of culturalism. You get your feel of feeling like you're part of the community. You also get an opportunity to work quietly. I say come with your job. But if you don't come with your job, if you come to a place like you come to a place over here and you have good skills, you'll find something to do. We have to be entrepreneurs. The one thing I do agree with, I saw President Buhari said this in his interview right after the new year. One thing I do agree is that people should not be relying on the government to create opportunities for them. What they need to do is come and be entrepreneurs and bring ideas that can manifest themselves into new companies, into new ventures, because there's venture capital out here for the right people. And if you have skills and you can prove yourself, you can get some of that money. Now, I would say build your connections, because even when I went to go try to get some money, I only had one guarantor, and they require you to have two guarantors. So if you need guarantors, then you need to start building your relationships. And the only way to do it is to come to the continent. You need people here to help you. You can't just come here, plop your ass down, and say, hey, I'm Shonda from Atlanta. I'm going to just do what I want to do. No, that don't work, honey. What you have to do is you have to come out here, make friends, and let them make friends for you. And then sooner or later, you have a whole, for example, I just got something from my banker, because this girl, she does everything. Like literally, if I ask her to transfer money for me, she holds it down. So I just got her a little, let me see if I can show you guys. Hold on a second. Yeah, I just got her something from a spa that I go to. It's called Tirta IU. And it's a little something. It's just a gift, because this is a girl that does everything for me over message. Like I used to come into the bank every day to do some transfers and do some things. And now it's like my girl just hits me up. You need anything today? She lets me know what the rate is for the day. She does some transfers for me. She opened up my bank account before my NIN was completely solidified. Like she opened it up and my NIN was on the way, and she really held me down. So this is how you build your relationships. Okay. Spent a couple dollars, probably the equivalent of like $70. So she could just go and have herself a nice time at the spa like I do. So she could treat herself, because the women around here, they work too hard and they need to be able to treat themselves. This is a very intelligent young Black woman working at one of the most prestigious banks here and doing a damn good job. And she's like 24 years old. So to be honest with you, this is how you build your relationships. Another thing is I had a really cute winter hat that I love, man. I fucking love that hat. My driver asked for it. I gave it to him. Have it. Take the fucking hat, man. It looked better on him than it looked on me. I just liked it. Just gave me the gangster vibes. It gave me those gangster vibes that I love, my New York shit. But I said, I'm trying to be on my feminine and sexy and sweet shit. So to be honest with you, take the hat, sir. Take the hat. He was like, what, you have USD? I paid him for the rides in USD. It made him feel so happy to have these fucking dollars in his hand. It was like 220 bills. I was like, here, take them. Whatever you can do to make a person feel good around here, you will really, and not all the time do you give people money and gifts. But I think for me, I've been here for a while now. And when in December, I was broke as fuck. And I really didn't have the ability to give tips and do things like that, because I had paid all my money for this apartment. I had to pay the whole year up front. And I wasn't working. I pretty much survived my whole life last year on investments. I worked 3 months last year, and my whole life was based off of 3 months of work, which is fantastic. I don't even know how I made it happen. But this year, I'm back on my work shit, because my bank account needs replenishing. And what I need to do now is step back into my role as trying to help people and trying to brighten people's days around here. So if I could give somebody a 500 Naira tip, or 1,000 Naira or something, like people that did my feet and my hands, I was so scaly and nasty that I had to give good tips, man. I I had to give good tips. And the reason why I gave good tips was because I want good energy every time, and I want sometimes to not have to tip. So today, like for my feet, I tipped 3,000 naira to a lady, and then for my massage, I tipped with 2,000 naira. And I think those are cute tips. They're not too much, they're not too heavy, but they're nice tips. And it says like, yo, when I come back, just handle me with care. And I feel it's nice to just give back if you can. And then another thing is like my apartment, I need some things done. I need a wardrobe to be, I have a wardrobe in here that came with the place, but it needs to be updated. I have a friend who has a company, my best friend. You guys have seen her in another video. And I'm going to use her company to update my wardrobe and put some money in her pocket. Why not? I'm going to pay somebody. Might as well pay my girl, you know? And like even tonight, like, dude that we get our trees from, like he's taking us out tonight. Like people are so cool. Like they're so happy for our business that they're taking us out tonight. And then also just making good relationships with the people that work the gate at your in your house, because you got to lay your head down and shit does happen. So you want to be able to know that you treat everybody nicely. So I'm not always the nicest, so sometimes I got to give a little extra money. I'm not always the nicest, so sometimes I just gotta pass with some more money. But I'm not abusive, but I am dead ass. I am dead ass and to the point. Like don't fuck up, but I'm still respectful. Like I came yesterday and they just rolled out. It was good vibes, man. And it's young people too. What I like is when I look around, all the people that I'm supporting they're younger than me. The banker, she's in her 20s, young 20s, really early 20s. I think she's like 23. She's good. People that work downstairs, they're like late teens, early 20s. And to be honest with you, I just like to see the young people see like, let me be the old lady with the money now. Like I don't mind it. I don't mind it. So it's a good experience, guys. You also want to just like spread the love, and if you could do something for somebody, like pass someone a phone number that can help them in life, or connect two people. I've connected a lot of people to one another, and people have connected me to other people. Like this is a society and a real community, and that's what's missing. Our community is so trash. At least, see, Brooklyn is cool because it's like we're very Black there. So at the end of the day, even though it's gentrified, we still embrace our community. There's some areas where we can still embrace our communities, but it's nothing like coming here and knowing that every time you pay your money, you are benefiting someone that looks like you. So I don't know who this is. Hold on one second. I think this is. Hello. I think that might be the restaurant. I hope. Let's see. Oh, no. I know who that is. Okay, no, I'm good now. Anyway, guys, just get your passports, all right? First thing you need to do is get your passport. Look, we don't know how long America could be standing. I didn't even talk to you guys about the Ukraine shit, because I'm assuming that all you watch the news and you know what time it is. But America's on its way into war, and we know it. Enough yaddies. That's a fact. Enough yaddies dip on Brooklyn. That's a fact. That's a fact. But it's not like it used to be. When I was growing up, because I'm from the Bronx. I was born in the Bronx. I moved to Brooklyn when I was like 17 years old. But that was a good time. When I moved there, I was going through college. I went to college in Manhattan, and Brooklyn was the spot. All my friends and a lot of my other family members, they lived down there. And I'll tell you what, we had a Caribbean community, but it's dying. A lot of them have moved to Philly. A lot of them have moved to Maryland. Our community is pretty much being taken over by others. Hello? Yes. No. This is me from earlier. You really close? Mm-hmm. No, but there was a huge community, and now there's not as much. There's not as much. There's just not a community like it used to be, and we're all struggling to just pull ourselves together. West Indians have found better places to live, by the way. Most of them live in Atlanta, and a lot of them live in Florida still. They've been there, and then some of them did move to Maryland, which is where I might go next because house prices are right, and I'm not about to rent nowhere else in the States. That's over for. No more renting in the States. I'm only going to stay in my one place until I can make moves and buy something. But I also don't want to spend so much. I was thinking about going down to Miami, but now that I feel, what? Let me tell you, the Caribbean culture is nothing like it. And let me tell you about the Africans. They love it too. They love our Caribbean culture too. Like I'm gonna drop a song in the chat for you. 1 second, and you go listen to this song, and you're gonna love this song. I'm gonna drop this song in the chat.
If you have a side gig and need to file,
Watch, you're gonna love this song. I'm gonna give you this. It's got Caribbean vibes, but copy. Look, let me give you one. Here, take this one. Take this one and vibe to this one. I'm giving Caribbean vibes, but that's all Niger. So music and culture, and let me tell you something. Caribbean culture has influenced a lot of the Afro beats. You know, it's mostly influenced by dancehall. It's mostly influenced by our music, and then it's also got R&B vibes, but it's mostly dancehall, honestly. And I mean, like bashment dancehall from like the '90s, you know, like the good shit. And it's also influenced by a lot of just our greats and the music, the culture. So culture here, what it's evolving to is something you could get down with. So you will enjoy it. Anyway, enjoy that song. Take it with you. That's Ruga. That's Ruga. Bounce your body now, we bounce you out. She want to dance on a bed tonight. Just go vibe to it. I would play it if they wouldn't strike my video, but that's, I mean, these artists are owned by the label. Same thing out here, like in the States, it's just the label's nicer to them. They respect them more than they respect the rappers. Oh, you heard that one? Yes. Curious girl, she had questions to see. With a lot booty and wine for me. So crazy, you drive me. Never die for me. Enjoy. I'm going out tonight. Right now, my time is 7:55, and I'm going to dinner at about 10 o'clock with my people. I do want to do some work though. I told my boss I'd be signing in and doing some work this afternoon. So let me pretend I give a fuck. Oh well, we love Cartel, and so do all the people here. People love Cartel here. Trust me, Cartel is worldwide. Everyone loves Cartel. People play Cartel here. Trust me. People do. They do. You're gonna hear him every now and then, but you know what? You will hear Popcorn a lot, his protege, because at the end of the day, Cartel's music. When we're talking about up to date music, Cartel has a couple up to date hits from like a year or two ago, and even from this year, he had something. But his best work is years ago, and those youngins don't really know it, but they do know Popcorn. So you're gonna hear a lot of that. Like Popcorn and Davido have a record together that's real good. It's called Risky. I know you've heard it. Get that gun, I get the money. Will be risky. I know you heard that one. So Risky. Go listen to that song. That's nice. Anyway, I'm out of here. I just gotta get some work done. If I hang with y'all for too long, I won't be able to get no work done. Seriously. Anyway, freedom. Nothing like freedom. Freedom is the name of the game. Nothing like it. Bounce your body, no, bounce your heart. Ooh, no light. I look black here, right? Yes. Black is beautiful. All right, guys. I can't wait until the ceiling is done. It's gonna be one of those cute ceilings with all the lights and the colors. You're gonna see how I update this flat and take this flat from just basics. I'm back there. Basic to just rental ready. Those are my goals for right now. Just one flat at a time. Don't want to put too much work on myself. I came to chill. I always tell people that they want me to help them do so many things. I just came to chill. I just came to just be. and do a little bit of work, not a lot. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for telling me that, because that is why the channel is called A Black Beauty, right? Because nobody ever said I was ugly. I mean, people have said a lot of things right there. Oh, she's a bitch. Oh, she's a know-it-all. Oh, fuck Jackie. That's my name, you know. They just don't like, you know what they don't like? They don't like that. They don't like that I'm black, beautiful, and I fucking know that shit. They hate it. I don't be giving a fuck. I don't care, honestly. Out here, I don't struggle for compliments anywhere, whether it's Brooklyn, Miami, or Wisconsin, Minneapolis, California, Germany, Paris, UK. When I say Paris, I mean the airport, because I ain't never really been in Paris. That is the goal of mine, to go to Paris and just chill. But I know in Charles de Gaulle, I don't struggle for compliments, man. And I don't even struggle for, I used to say I struggle for understanding, but nowadays I don't really give a fuck if people understand me or not, because it's not their job to understand me. It's just like it's not my job to understand them. You could take it or you could leave it, and a black beauty is out. Peace. Bounce your body now, bounce you out.